Hey everyone, welcome to Third Eye Meditation.
Hey.
Third Eye Meditation Podcast. We're back on the air again. Hopefully this time with a little bit better internet. You got me, Gary, here, along with the wonderful Hannah.
Howdy.
We do apologize. Our last podcast that we did, which was giving everybody a little update about the studio and moving in and everything, and when we played it back, there was a lot of buffering on there, and we do apologize. Like I said, we don't have a whole lot of money. If you want a much better podcast, donate. All right, there's a donation link in here. But actually, all that was, we had just moved in. The internet was only just hooked up, and we weren't getting the full speed in here. We're wired now. We're back. We're in the studio. The studio is now purple. It's very relaxing and comfortable in here. Hannah's smoking her vape, and it actually smells pretty good, and I'm actually enjoying it. Thanks, Hannah. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Rainbow clouds.
There you go. Rainbow clouds.
Elf Bar sponsor me.
There you go. We are happy to be back, and there's so many changes going on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I think, as we had mentioned, we are going to stick solely with the podcasting, and we're getting rid of a lot of stuff, and we actually got rid of our website. Believe it or not, nobody was going on it, so it's gone. Again, money, people. It costs money to do these shows. It costs money to have a website. It costs money to have the programming, to get guests on here. It costs money for the equipment. It's money, and it's monthly fees, and I just didn't feel it necessary to have a website if nobody was going to be on it. We feel a little bad.
Definitely.
Yeah, because
we had
Hannah
plans.
wanted stuff. We had a lot of plans, but nobody was going on it. And I know things like that do take time, and I know a lot of it is our fault too as well, because we had our original website, and then we went on and we changed it when we got onto Facebook, and then we changed it up again when we got the On Podium site. So we kept asking people to change it. And I also realized that this is not 1990 anymore. People don't go on websites anymore.
Unless you're me.
Yeah, or me, because I love going on websites myself. So we're going to do something different tonight. Like I said, we're changing things because everything is new. Ever since Hannah joined the show, and I wanted to go down different roads. I wanted to step away from the meditation just a little bit. Everything does relate somehow to meditation, and obviously this podcast is going to. But I always said I wanted to go down those dark roads. I wanted to fall down those rabbit holes so far that you can't even see us. And I think we're going to start doing that tonight on our show tonight. So tonight is May 16th. Like I said, whenever you're tuning in, like I said, things have changed. You may be tuning in for the first time, last time, middle time, whatever. Like I said, things change on these podcasts really quick, but we're going to be giving you some really good shows, especially since we're focusing in only on the podcasting for the most part. Tonight, we're going to have a guest on, and if there is a delay, we apologize. He is from the UK. We're from the United States, so there may be a delay, so we apologize in advance, but we're going to be talking a lot of good stuff. He's a musician. He works with he has precognitive abilities, and like I always said, these are things I love talking about, whether they be psychic or whether you could see like him into the future, and there's so much more to him, and I don't want to give away too much because I want to go down, get some stuff out of the way really quick. As you all know, we love Elaine from Arcane Oracle. If you do go on Facebook, Arcane Oracle, she has some fantastic stuff. She works with the tarot. She works with horoscopes. She can do both. She has great prices for some readings. We love Elaine, and we support her 100%. Elaine at Arcane Oracle. I wanted to see if we could bring up a website for her. Elaine's Arcane Tarot.com. ELAINESARCANETAROT.com. And there you go. It's a .com. Please go on these websites, people. We had to take ours down. Please, if we are asking you to go to these websites just to visit, even just to visit, it helps out a lot. And we would really like to have people get onto Elaine'sTarot.com. Also, CP Automotive. If you're in the Harrisburg area of Pennsylvania, what does that got to do with meditation? Everything. Just imagine the anxiety of being broken down on the side of a road. The best meditation is to call a tow truck if you need towing, if you need your car repaired, if you need Pennsylvania State emissions, anything. Please reach out to CMP Automotive. CMP Automotive can help you out. I have my I have my appointment coming up, as a matter of fact, this coming weekend. So I definitely want you to check them out, all right? They're located at 108 Lincoln Street in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 17112. You can call them at 717-265-9556. 717-265-9556. I got all my stuff out of the way, so Hannah?
I feel like I really need a drum roll sound effect for the one I'm about to do. Everyone, for all your minds... Oh, my bad. I'm messing up my own skit. I'm in a silly mood today. For all your metaphysical needs, be sure to check out Mind's Eye Metaphysical. Jen and Angelo are both beyond talented, wonderful individuals who will forever put a print on your soul. 3 Railroad Ave, Marietta, PA, 17547. Reach her at 717-286-3784. That website is www.mindseyemetaphysical.com. And like I said, I just want to keep stressing this enough. Jen and Angelo are such talented people. They can, help you out, like Reiki healing, crystals. She has jewelry. The shop does have limited hours, but you can shop online anytime on the website. Angelo books up so quickly. So if you are local in the area, even if you're not, book with Angelo. He's amazing.
Yep. Angelo does do the online readings too as well, so you don't need to be in the shop.
He does.
So it doesn't matter where you are, even if you are in the UK, because we're going to be talking to the UK very shortly here. Imagine your life, all right, walking around, believing in what you believe in, all right? I'm the same way. I have beliefs. We all have some sort of belief in what the world is, and we've been stressing this so much on third eye meditation. If you open your eyes and then you open your eye, that's the way to open up your third eye. You have to be aware of what is going on around you, the things around you. And sometimes you may believe in something, or you may feel very strongly on something that not everybody's going to believe in, because a lot of people don't have their eyes open. A lot of people are just following things blindly. You get called a conspiracy theorist, and it's almost like an insult, but I wear that like a badge. It's not like I'm completely crazy. It's just I have an open mind to things. Mm-hmm. And if someone is going to explain something to me, that's great. I can listen to anybody's story. Do we have any truth to it? Is it truthful or not? Every story is a story, and there's a story behind every story. A little bit of research sometimes can reveal some really frightening things at times. And when it comes to governments, there's a lot of scary stuff there. Like I said, we're going to go down some rabbit holes tonight. Imagine being having a precognitive ability and be able to see things before they even happen. Some people look at that as good. Some people look at that as a curse. Some people, like our guest, incorporates it into his music. And I find this gentleman really fascinating, mm-hmm. and we're going to have him come on the show, and we're going to have him give some ideas of what's going on with him, and we're going to go down some rabbit holes. So again, if you're listening to this podcast thinking that, this is just another conspiracy, show that's going on, it's really not. A lot of this revolves around meditation. You have to have an open mind to have an open eye. All right. Some of the things you may not agree with, that's all good and well. Not agreeing is okay. But you have to respect people, and you mm-hmm. have to understand that there's things that are going on out there. And if you take the time and research, even if you don't believe it, you're going to start finding evidence that this stuff actually really does go on. A lot of people always ask, do you really believe your government's doing that to your own people? Yes. There is so much proof that our government, at least, has done a lot of things to their own people. All right. And things could be different in other countries and all. But if you really take the time and do the research, you'll wind up finding out some really frightening things. And we're going to be talking about some of those frightening things. Our guest is Alex, or Mace the Amazing, as I like to call him. Alex, I'd like to welcome you on to our show. How are you doing?
Good evening from the UK. I'm pretty good.
Good evening from the UK. I'm pretty good, thanks. How about yourself?
Hey, we're doing really good, Alex. Thank you so very much for doing this show with Hannah and I. We're excited to have you on here. Alex, first off, I'm going to give the microphone to you for a little while. Tell everybody out there exactly about you. Tell us about your music. Tell us about your precognitive abilities. Give us a little idea of what it is to be you.
When it comes to music, started MCing 13, 14 years old. That was about 97, 98. Pretty bad with maths. Ended up taking a break for at least 10 years from 2004 to 2014. Started writing again. 2015. About 3 or 4 months or so after the first song I wrote. Basically was the first time I realised that there was something backing up that I believed precognition.
Oh, did we freeze?
Could you hear what I just said? Or?
No, can you repeat it? Just the part after
The
you
whole
wrote
thing?
your first song.
Okay, basically after my first song, a year after getting back into music, 2015, about 3 or 4 months after that, after my first mixtape, I believe there was some kind of connection to what I believe was a possible precognition. The further it went on, the more songs I made, I started realizing it started becoming more obvious.
All right, so
Sorry, it's
tell
the
us a
delay.
little
It
bit
keeps
about
on
your
throwing.
music.
Sorry, it's the delay. It keeps on throwing me off. That's why I keep on freezing every so often when I'm talking.
Yeah, that's fine. We understand, and we're getting used to it. And that's why I mentioned to everybody we are talking to the UK from the United States, so there is a delay, and also with the equipment and everything. So we apologize. We know it's going to be a little bit of a delay, but we're going to get through this anyways. Yeah. So Alex, no, please go ahead. Just keep rolling with it.
Basically, a song I called "Nothing to Lose." That's my first mixtape. Rusty Jux is Brooklyn MC hip hop artist underground. Version of his song called "Ready to Jux." The hook and the chorus basically describes. It makes him feel like he wants to die. My version in the hook, the chorus basically said, "Feeling confused." Some basically sexually confusing feeling that came out of nowhere. About 3 or 4 months after the first song I wrote. Basically, it felt like it just made me wonder because I'd never felt this feeling just came out of nowhere. I was minding my business, just doing my daily thing, and all of a sudden, this nasty came out of nowhere. It made me feel confused. It made me feel suicidal. If there's anything you want to ask on that song,
there's a lot I'd like to ask, actually, Alex, and I do apologize. I think some of the audio is breaking up again. I do apologize for that. But I got a gist of what you're saying. I have to ask here, so the music that you're writing, along with this precognitive ability that you have, you're able to mesh this together. But at the same time, you're using this music kind of as a way to get through your own struggles in life. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, more expression. I never did it for money or anything like that. Always did it based on express myself, just for a passion. I just enjoyed. As soon as I started freestyling and MCing with my brother, he's the one who basically taught me to MC when I was younger in my teens. Just enjoyed trying to come up with rhymes off the top of my head. Got back into it in 2014. I was doing it season again. I just enjoyed putting rhymes together, being creative. Not long after, the more music I made, I started realizing I made lots of prediction in my songs.
With these here predictions in your songs and all, and this is just basically your general life. It's not even the music that you're doing, it's just general life. You have this I remember you spoke to me mentioning, like, when you're walking through the streets, you know the timing of the traffic lights and you're able to picture stuff like this as it, even before it happens, the lights changing and everything.
I wouldn't say picture it. It's more of a thing where I'm unaware until it happens, basically. I mean, if you don't have precognition, it's confusing. But basically, you don't even realize it's going to happen until it gets there. It's like a subconscious thing. So basically, you don't even realize you're going to get to the traffic lights when they're going to go green when you get there. Or anything else like her, if you hear lyrics in a song basically synchronizing with something that the lyrics are describing, you don't even realize until you see it. Basically, that's my experience of it anyway.
All right, and this here, you reached out to us real quick because this was interfering with you as far as meditation and opening your third eye. Because for the first time, we always had the same question. Hannah and I got the same question all the time. How do you open your third eye? How do you open your third eye? Alex was the very first person to actually ask us, how do you close it? And that is why I wanted to get him on the show.
It was definitely a curve. It made me, stop what I was doing. And I really dug into my mind and was like, well, how do I do this? How do I explain to somebody how to do this?
Right. And I guess people don't realize if your third eye is open, and it's open to the point where it actually starts to create problems, restlessness, annoyances.
Pressure,
exactly. And as in Alex's precognitive state, that this really can be disturbing. Is that correct? This was something that was really disturbing to you, Alex.
I wouldn't say the precognition never bothered me in any way whatsoever. Like I said, it changed me. Just like when I play my computer game. Basically, I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. I have a delusion that the public are watching my private life and my private. I'm playing a computer game. I'm playing it for my own personal enjoyment. Again, no different to music because I enjoy writing music. Basically, I get remote visions of many people, strangers included. They're watching me. It makes me believe they're watching me playing my computer game. It puts the perception in my mind that I have to perform instead of enjoying playing the game, which is all I want to do.
So you suffer from paranoid schizophrenia. So in essence, meditation can always help with that. But with a third eye that becomes overly sensitive, this is going to create...
Yeah.
It'll make it much more intense for you.
The remote visions, They are very disturbing. It's not easy, you know, like it's not easy, you know, like if you feel like you're doing something, it can affect your performance no matter what you're doing, even if it's singing, whatever it is, it puts pressure on you. Whatever it is, it puts pressure on you, basically.
So I did want to ask, from when we did speak about, closing your third eye, have you had any progress on, shutting that out?
I can't come up with techniques. Sometimes I can sit there, play a computer game, mind my business, and I won't sense any remote visions.
So you block it out.
But I don't know a way to close it. It's like I don't even know how to control it. I don't even know how to control it. It's just I just get random remotes. If I'm playing a computer game, I'll have visions of people sitting looking like they're watching television, something like that. I haven't found any technique to basically close my third eye and stop those remote visions.
That's very interesting. I know, like I say, you're right. We were thrown for a curve when Alex asked that. And if you have these remote abilities where you could see remotely and all, it goes beyond what we can actually explain or trying to help someone. And having that third eye open, or you actually want to close it, and hopefully that kind of calms things down. Because people with paranoid schizophrenia and all, you want to always feel safe.
We do have hallucinations as one of the symptoms, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you want to feel safe. You want to feel safe even in your own home, and you can't if you have in these remote visions, because even if you're locked into your own home or whatever, you have the feeling that someone's always out there watching you or something, correct?
Basically, yeah. It's like my privacy is being invaded. I'm a kind of a person that values his privacy. The idea of the public watching my private life is already disturbing itself. So. All right.
You got anything, Anna?
I wanted to make a suggestion. I think that it's easier said than done, but instead of closing off your third eye, you could take the time. I'm trying to explain this in the best way I could do possible. Take the time to change the way your third eye views. So it's going to take a lot of practice and a lot of work, but, I don't know if you're big into incense, but, get positive, uplifting incense, uplifting and positive crystals, and, get into a meditative state and, let that eye show you what it wants to show you. But I think we talked about this in one of our podcasts. Take what you saw, review it, and then let it go. And change it to what you want to see. Like I said, it's going to take a lot of work, but I believe you are a powerful individual. I can sense that just from computer monitor. And I really think that you do have the power to change the way your third eye views. You just have to dedicate yourself to doing that.
Appreciate thank you, and I appreciate the advice. Yeah. The thing is, it's complex. Sometimes I can somebody's name, and they'll pop up in my head, or I can just be sitting there playing the computer game, focusing on the computer game itself, and then all of a sudden, random images, remote views of people just pop up in my head. And just to describe these remote views, like I said, they're not like photographs. I don't know if you've ever had remote visions yourself, but basically these
like
images.
You feel like
these images are nothing like that. No, that is nothing like that. No, that is. You know how I can see. I can see. On my computer screen. Mm-hmm. Basically, I can see them from certain angles. I can see the clothes they're wearing.
If they're wearing a hat, jewelry,
if they're wearing a hat, jewelry, the color of their clothes, whatever it may be, the background of the room they're sitting in, anything is very describable, and I can describe any person I see in these third eye views, remote visions.
I'll help you out in a little bit too, and correct me too, Alex, if I'm wrong, because everybody has this ability and it can be trained. The government here in the United States have worked on remote viewing. It was done during wartime, and I believe it's still going on too. There's movies based on it, but there's a lot of information out, and you can train yourself to do remote viewing. What the government wanted was, let's say, if there's nuclear sites in some other country, rather than flying drones or planes or anything, you can teach some people have that ability where they can view remotely just by studying their own images, kind of like an out-of-body experience, and they can see the area. And there's been a lot of tests done on this.
Bradley Cooper was in a movie.
Yeah, I believe so.
It had to do with a pill from the government, and he had that.
That's one movie, yeah, and it doesn't even have anything to do with pills, but the remote viewing,
Yeah.
you can see things. You can see people, you can see landscapes, you can see animals, and some people were able to see like these nuclear facilities or storage facilities to the exact addresses, and they could tell you what was around the facilities as far as whether it be fences or animals or trees or anything like that. So you never had any training though on this though, Alex. This is just something you were kind of gifted almost.
I'll call it a gift, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's partially a gift, partially a curse. Like I said, the precognition is great. That always entertaining when I see something that synchronizes with lyrics I'm listening to. But the remote visions are never. Are never a story. Like I said, if you value your privacy, you're going to feel disturbed if you feel people are watching your private life, basically. One of the remote visions. Wasn't like a photographic either. I have had a video. Type third eye vision as well. A remote vision as well. Sorry. That was basically. It wasn't 100%. It wasn't 100% clear like the remote visions of people I get visions of. It was very vague, but I could partially see something. And it was basically an urban environment, some kind of town or city, traffic lights, people walking around, etc., cars driving around. That was earlier this year, but it was just that was the only remote vision I've ever had.
Okay.
So now, that's.
At the end of the day, the remote visions, they're a curse. Precognition, but like I said, precognition, I'm happy with that.
I got you. So you're precognitive. Okay, you could consider that more of a gift, but this remote viewing, and the remote viewing, you're viewing into other worlds, which at the same time where you're concerned with your privacy and you're able to remotely view into other people's personal lives, and then that's being turned on you in a sense. This is going to get me down to the next road that I want to take you. MKUltra, and sometimes you're almost frightened to say that even on our podcast, but I don't care. I want to go down these roads. MKUltra, for those, it was actually a movie based on the government's use. The CIA actually used it. It was a form of torture, basically for interrogation, where they were experimenting with drugs like LSD, mescaline, stuff like that on victims, and they were using it for interrogation techniques. But in order to test it, they were testing it on military people. They were testing it on regular civilians. They were, there's a lot of documentation on it, A lot of the records, of course, were destroyed, so they couldn't actually get cases on it. But this was something the government was actually using. Again, those that don't believe it, if you research this, and you can actually see the actual Freedom of Information Act information on it, this was truly scary stuff. It involved torture, it involved sexual torture, it involved the use of drugs, any kind of drug that can get people to either speak the truth or at least to discredit the person, or to manipulate them into believing what's being told to them. And like I said, it was an experiment, but they experimented on regular everyday people, their own military, regular everyday civilians, and there's a lot of documentation on it. And they have other things with these here extra low frequencies that can be pinpointed. This was, I don't know, Alex, if you looked into it, the Havana effect, I think it was called.
I'm not aware of the Havana effect, sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, the Havana effect was something basically which you're going through where you hear, like, it's this artificial tinnitus. It's not so much a ringing in your ears, but it's this extra low frequency that is continuous. And there has been some talk about some CIA agents that were being targeted, and I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's government officials that have been using it, especially some CIA agents. They can be targeted from afar by use of these electromagnetic waves, where they would hear this continuous torturous form of tinnitus, basically, but it's an artificial form of tinnitus based upon these here electromagnetic frequencies that are being sent out. And Alex, you have this, and this I could call a curse. I mean, this is something you experience daily.
24/7. That's what he said.
That's a curse itself. I mean, the experience of what I've gone through, what I've seen other targeted individuals are going through also.
Very satanic.
Very cool, very satanic technology. That's all I can describe it as.
Evil it is.
How evil it is.
And I referring
to the artificial tinnitus, like I said. The reason why I know it's not even tinnitus itself is because there's no ringing sound to it.
It's like it describes if you
let air out of a tire right now, but the decibel level was a little bit more quieter.
Just to a level that you can only hear
it in a very quiet room at night. No electrics on, completely quiet room.
That's what describes it, but
there's no ringing sound to it at all. So.
I suffer from tinnitus myself, and it's both ears. It's just a continuous ring, and that I had just basically because since a young age with headphones and loud music my whole life. That's tinnitus, but this is more of a form of remote torture, is what you're going through.
It's basically torture. That's it. Yeah. That's basically what it described it as. Yeah, based on my experience, anyway.
And you feel you're being targeted because of your conspiracy theories, your truth, the information that you just freely put out there, because we all have a freedom, at least we all think we have freedom of speech. You feel that you're being targeted because of this freedom of speech.
I'm sure there's more to it, but I know that the torture got more severe as soon as I started talking about this conspiracy stuff anyway.
And you run a page on Facebook, the Truther Network, is it? Truther News Network?
Truther Newswire 2.0.
Truther Newswire 2.0.
Yeah, okay. I've been following that, and we're going to have links in the synopsis of our podcast. So if anybody's interested in going down these roads, look into it for sure. There's a lot, again, there's a lot of stuff on your Truther News Network, and you've had videos of like veterans and stuff that were actually suffering through these crises from these electromagnetic frequencies that they've been hearing. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
I I actually can't recall the video you're referring to about the veteran. Off the top of my mind, anyway. I do remember posting several videos. One video with a MI5 whistleblower and a person behind this technology. And a person behind this technology. MI5 is a British intelligence, the British version of secret security, but they're like MI6. MI5 are supposedly the ones behind the microwave extra frequency technology. They're basically similar to the American CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. If you've seen that video, NSA Whistleblower 2, confirming this technology in the first place for anybody who's skeptical. It's on Truth and Newswire 2.0 video section. You hear MI5 whistleblower himself behind this technology, basically confirming they're using this technology. And obviously because it's MI5 UK intelligence, it means they're using it on British civilians, including myself. There is an American veteran, ex-DOD Department of Defense. He's a whistleblower, Bryan Tew. I share his videos. His video logs what his experience in every so often to Truth and Newswire 2.02.
Yeah, and I've caught some of these videos for sure. I definitely looked at them, and like I said, we're going to have a link at the bottom of the podcast and a synopsis for all this if you do want to check it out. And it's also research. Listen, I think no matter what, there's a lot of scary stuff that is out there, whether you believe it or not. It is out there, and I think the more people that are made aware of this and what's going on, instead of people just closing their eyes all the time and always just passing people off as a weirdo or somebody, it's just a conspiracy theorist. If you really take the time and you really, really research this kind of stuff, and you realize just how scary it is, you're going to realize just how lucky you are that you are not being targeted. For whatever reason, like most of the time, these are just experiments. They're experimenting. But they've been experimenting on us the whole time. Just look at COVID. COVID was one big experiment to see just how far that they can go. All right? And I'm going to say it right here on my own show. And before anybody wants to go with the tinfoil, I think 9/11 was the same thing. It was the start of breaking down society and having government beginning to get into your lives more, because after 9/11, what we had the Patriot Act, which allowed the government to spy on its own people. So again, a lot of this stuff is very hard pills to swallow, but I just wanted to bring it out here because obviously people like Alex are probably targets to this sort of thing, and they have to live like this every single day, because how do you get around it? He's reaching out to us, how do I close my third eye? And we could give him that advice, but how do you turn off these electromagnetic frequencies? How do you do that? We have no access to any kind of that technology or anything. And it's stuff that's difficult sometimes to bring out, because some people are scared because they don't want to start talking about this because nobody wants to become a victim. But they're the same people that don't believe that there are people suffering from these kind of things. So, Alex, you put together that whole Truth and News Network 2.0 to try and get this here out there to the entire world. And because of that, you feel you're being targeted for, because of that.
Well, it started with my original version, Agency of Truth for Justice. Sorry, it's the delay. It keeps on messing with my audio. The first version was Agency of Truth and Justice. After that, that's where everything else started happening to me. Well, it got worse anyway. The mind control rape, electronic rapes, they're known as, and basically mental torment. Like I said, where people down schizophrenia, hearing voices, or paranoia. I've always taken my medication, etc. Never interfered with my head. And it's never interfered with my head until I started talking about this conspiracy
content. Any videos are made, posts are made, anything like that. Basically, I realised I was tortured more.
And Alex, you're being tortured like this, and yet every day you still go out there and you keep posting more and more information out there. Do you feel that eventually someday people are going to wake up and start, turning around and saying, wow, these people were right?
I have no hope right now for humanity.
Me alone, I've spoken about it non-stop, 24/7. I've been months and months on end. I've been posting and making videos about this since 2015, late 2015 onwards, and most of the time, I'm not seeing any global revolution. I'm not seeing any countries revolting, any populations revolting, apart from France earlier this year.
And with that, do you think, in your opinion, do you think you're seeing more of the opposite, where you seem to be more controlled by governments and you see more, of this complete breakdown of freedom?
I'm seeing a lot of liberties.
Being taken away in many countries across the world. It was tied to this World Economic Forum Great Reset.
I can send you the link to the Rumble.
Rumble video explaining the World Economic Forum Great Reset explained after the podcast, and you can link it on the video for people to watch. See if it makes sense to them as much as it does to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I know about the whole World Economic Forum. I've seen many of those videos. Yeah, any video links that you have, definitely send to me, because I am going to put them on here. And again, to those of you that are listening to our podcast, Hannah and I, like I said, we usually speak about meditation and all. I'm bringing this forward because I find this stuff interesting, and I always wanted to go down these roads myself. And it feels good to finally start talking about it. And it's even better to have somebody on the other end that's actually going through this for real. You can believe him or not. That's personal opinion. I'm never going to force anybody to say, hey, Alex is the real deal and he's definitely being targeted. We don't really know, but the man has something going on, and it's not really explainable, at least to him. But when you start linking things up and you start doing your research, you really got to start questioning things. And if you want to learn to be a higher self, you really need to take a lot of this into account. Again, the basic meditation is just sitting there, lowering your blood pressure is one thing, and we could always help you with that. But when you really want to get to the highest levels of consciousness, start opening your eyes a lot more, that there are people that are going through things like this, and it's very, very real, and it gets very scary. Some of the videos you watch, and you could sit there and try and debunk it all you want, and I appreciate it if you do. However, understand something. There's a story behind every story. There's a story behind Alex's story. There's something going on somewhere. The man has great music. Alex, I've been listening to a lot of your tunes actually today, because I know you were going to come into the studio, and you got some really good stuff, and I'm definitely going to provide the links out there, and I want people to listen to it.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I want people to also hear what you're saying on the Truth and News Network 2.0. I'm going to have the links for that too as well. I want people just to see this, even if they just want a small taste, just to see what's going on. And that's basically all we can ask, and hopefully this opens up some people's eyes to things.
I did want to chime in. So Alex, with your music, does that help you kind of block out those visions that you get? And does it help you block out the frequencies?
When it comes to the
remote views, whenever I've written music, I've never had remote views while I'm writing music. It's usually when I'm performing an activity.
But
it's mostly when I'm playing a computer game. As I said, that's when they become highly active.
If you
mean frequency from the mind control technology, my mind's focused on the lyrics if I ever write music. So I really take notice of the frequency in my voice here anyway when I'm writing music anyway. So.
Okay. I'm trying to think here. It's like you said, that's all you want to do is you wanted to play the game. And I'm thinking, have you tried to play like a different game? Have you tried?
I played various games. It's always the same. I played various games. It's always the same. It doesn't matter what I'm playing. I just always get these remote visions.
So it might be like the electronics.
See, this is what I was just going to go into.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned it to you too, Alex. Like a lot of times, like when it comes to any of these electronic frequencies, they can target you through the television, they can target you through video games, they can target you through radios, any kind of electronic devices. Have you ever tried removing all electronic devices, maybe going out somewhere in nature or something, away from any kind of electric, and see if anything changes?
See if you get serenity.
Basically, I want to go for my daily walks. I'm never getting remote visions myself.
That's good.
It's just when I'm in my own property, that's when I'm getting them. With my games console, the thing is, I have no antenna connected to the television. It's basically a PC monitor. But I have came across a US patents, US government. Basically, that does say they did invent the technology to target people via this technology through their television sets. It's just to be connected. It's just that it always has to be connected to a TV antenna for the signal to go through the television.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to hit on.
On daily walks, I never get any of these remote views. It's always when I'm in my property.
Yeah, and this is why I was talking about these electronic devices. It can be a target, but at some point you got to realize that maybe the technology is way stronger than we really, want to believe. That if you're a target, unfortunately, you're a target, and it's a horrible thing to think about. And my prayers go out to you, Alex. And this is. It's frightening, and it's uncomfortable. Again, it's very uncomfortable to talk about because nobody wants to actually realize the truth and realize, hey, listen, just because somebody says, hey, I hear voices, who are you to say that they don't? Whether those are real or imagined, it's still a voice somebody else is hearing. So it's the same thing with Alex here.
And that's it.
Yeah, same thing with Alex here.
Try to disturb you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, when it comes to the technology, I never hear. It's never voices. Like the symptoms of schizophrenics is basically hearing voices. As if they're somebody else's thoughts. With this technology, it's called voice to skull. It basically goes into your subconsciousness, and you're not even consciously aware that you're having anything put into your mind. I've looked into the technology itself. Bryan Tew, DOD Whistleblower himself, like I said, he describes how technology works.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it was just a delay. I do apologize again. It was just a delay that I was not used to. Yeah, and I think that's just kind of the point that I was trying to make there, Alex. It's just the fact that there are people that suffer, from delusions and hearing voices. Who is anybody to say that they are not hearing these things? So in your case, you can't say that it's not real. In your case, it's real. It's happening to you. Just because it's not a normal explanation, like most people want, saying, oh, it's just a medical case, it's delusional, there's meds for it. When you start saying that this is technology and you're being targeted, by some government agency, who's to say that that's not real? Nobody looks into that, and that's why I always keep an open mind on these kind of things and say, okay, if this is what somebody's saying, it's not my place not to believe them. But from the research that I've done, I could say there's a very, very strong chance that this really is happening to Alex, and that's shameful. It really is. Whether it's happening to Alex or anybody else,
They could target anyone they choose to.
They could target anyone they choose to target, basically, at the end of the day.
Right. At any point, at any time, if they decide, hey, we're going to go after this person, they can do it. And there is plenty of documentation out there that shows that they actually have done it. So you can't say that we are wrong, It's just, it can't be said anymore. And again, Alex, I pray for you. I hope at some point you could find some peace with this. And I hope at some point enough people wake up to the point where they realize that this is going on and something can be done. I know that, when you start talking about this kind of stuff, it's way bigger than us. It goes way bigger than meditation. It goes way bigger because, where do you go to stop it? That's the big question. Where do you go to stop this?
There's no one else who can stop targeting.
There's no one else who can stop targeting that person. Governmental agencies themselves, secret intelligence agencies, whoever they are. If they decide they want to stop targeting that person, they're the only people who can decide to do that, basically. There's no defense against it.
Do you have anything to add, Hannah?
I do want to rewind a little bit. And I want to talk about something, more positive for Alex, your music. This is your form of meditation, it sounds like. And I just want to know, you've probably heard me from all of our other podcasts. I always try to kind of keep it bubbly. I just want to know, like I said, this is your form of meditation. How does it really make you feel? Like when you finish your freestyle, like does it just, I always talk about how my forms of meditation gives me highs. Like I just want to know how it just makes you feel. Does it calm, the ringing that you that you get? How does it make you feel?
Like I said, the artificial tinnitus, I don't even notice it. Right now, whilst I'm talking to you, because of the audio, etc. I don't even. It's always when I'm laying down at night time with my electric stuff.
But when it comes to music,
it's good for self-expression.
I'm a loner 24/7 on my
I'm
own.
a loner 24/7 on my own. See nobody really. Good to get things off my mind if I write them down and I rap them and express them through lyrics. Just to point out
an example of one of my songs that
Precognition on one of my songs that goes back to 2015.
Victory is all mine.
Victory is all mine. Basically, the first verse, the next day, it could be coincidence, I take it as a possibility, but basically, on that song, I wrote describing scorching a bin.
Into town
next day, I'm walking into town at night time.
See a bin on fire. The day after.
The day after, it describes a bin on fire. Scorch means burn. And I see that the next day. That's just one example of many things I've predicted in my songs.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it is very powerful, and music, as we all know, is extremely powerful too as well. And an artist's expression is an artist's expression, and that type of power is out there. And regardless of the suffering that Alex goes through, he does have the music, and he's able to get that out in song, in music, in his freestyle, whatever it is, he can get that out there. But at the same time, he's also working hard, just trying to get his story out there, trying to get the truth told, and just getting it out to the masses, regardless of what he's going through. And that, to me, is extremely brave. And, I admire you a lot for that, brother.
Same here.
I appreciate that.
You are a powerful individual who does not deserve the torture that you receive. And I really hope, like, from a softy girl who wears her heart on her sleeve, that you win this battle. Because I really think you will.
That.
And
Thank
your
you, and I
music
appreciate
is
that.
going to be your sword.
Well, I'm a softie myself. I'm not fully masculine, so I have a feminine side. I'm not afraid to say that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong. That's brave to say, so that's really good. Yeah, we all have a soft side. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And like I said, I'm going to continue to support you as well. And like I said, I'm going to get all of the links from you, and we're going to put them all on this podcast. And again, everybody listening, like I said, whether you believe this or not, whether this is your cup of tea or not, I'm asking from the bottom of my heart to look into this stuff. Just, look at some of the stuff that Alex does have. Or at least just listen to his music. If you don't want to go down the other rabbit holes, at least listen to his music. Give him some support. Again, our podcasts, we're not here for money, obviously. And we don't have big-time stars on our show. We have regular, everyday people on our show. And Alex is one of these regular, everyday people. So you could be a perfectly fine human being selling, your crafts, or, we could promote your stores and all that. But there's people that have tortured sides to them. And we need to hear from them too as well, because they have a voice. We have a voice. You have a voice. And if everybody uses it, we can start getting things done, and we can start getting things done together. And that's why I really admire Alex, because he has that voice, he uses it, he puts it out there every day, regardless of the torture that he's going through, regardless of, any critiques he might get, he's out there doing it. So Alex, I really appreciate you coming on our show. It's really been fascinating, and, we really do wish you the best.
We really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I wish you both the best with your podcast as well.
Thank you.
And I will continue promoting the page. I will continue promoting the page as well for you, helping you anyway.
Yeah, we will promote you always.
That as well.
Thank
you. I appreciate that as well.
Absolutely, Alex. We do. We wish you all the best. We could go down so many roads, but we're going to stay in touch. Please send us all those links, any links at all that you want us to promote, and we're going to get them up on this podcast. But otherwise, we really wish you the best of night, and we wish you the best of days. And if you ever need to reach out to us, please do. We'll be here for you.
Always. You
Thank
have
you.
a
I
good night,
appreciate
Alex.
both of you. Thank you. I appreciate both of you for that. I'm about to get in bed anyway. It's just past midnight here anyway. So I should rest.
Okay.
You get your rest, buddy. Get yourself, enough rest so you could spread the truth out to the rest of the world, all right? There's always another day. There's always another day to fight, all right? We'll fight right behind you.
Much appreciated. I hope you both enjoy the rest of your afternoon anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Take care.
Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Hannah, you're kind of in a loss. This was sort of my rabbit hole I like to go down. And I know, give me your feelings on this, because Hannah, you're always my little sidekick. You're my other...
Makes me sad.
Yeah.
Like I at one point I'd literally had to hold my throat. Because I'm a really big empath, and it just makes me sad to see someone suffer. And looking at Alex while he's talking to us, I just see someone that wants to be free. And if I could give everything that I have to make that man free, and I don't even know him. I've never met him in person. I probably never will. But if I could, I would. And I guess that's just the kind of person I am. But the whole time I just truly hope that he finds serenity and peace, and, those visions stop for him, and the ringing stops. I couldn't imagine. And it just makes me think, I'm always the type of person where I validate people's feelings, but at the same time, I always express, and also think to myself, like, someone always has it worse. And Alex is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and I think this is why, I've been for so long wanting to talk about stuff like this on the show. I mean, this is our platform. We could talk about whatever we want, but like I said, we can apply meditation to everything. And in a case like this goes beyond meditation. But again, like I said, I want everybody just to open up their eyes. Our podcast, again, and I'm going to stress this since we are going to be signing off very shortly. This is our format. We're going to continue doing what we're doing regardless. We have a voice. You have a voice. And I'm going to start stressing this. It's just like, open your eyes and then open your eye. You have a voice. Use it. All right? And we don't use this show like for celebrities, and we don't use this show for, big names, and we don't use this show to make money. If we ever do make money off of it, that would be great. However, right now we're doing the best we can with what little we do have. And I like to bring to the forefront people that have these abilities, or sometimes these tortured souls, people that are living through everyday life like this. They have a voice too. And I have no problem with them coming on the show. So if you're listening to this show and you have something you might want to add to this, or you have something that you think you want to be on this podcast for, reach out to us. Again, we did get rid of the website.
Bye-bye.
It's gone. Nobody was there, and it was costing us money. But
Thank you for the ones that did subscribe. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. For those that did, that's great. But we do this podcast, and the people that have been listening for so long, they're listening through whatever platform that there's, that's their favorite. And we appreciate them. We always appreciate the listens. But if you
Pandora, you guys are the real ones.
Yeah, Pandora. I can't believe it. They really got the most listens on there. But hey, whatever. But we don't have the website, but we can be reached. I'm going to have the links to our Facebook page. We have a Twitter now. I don't really use it too much, but we do have the Twitter. But we could be reached, on Facebook through Facebook Messenger, and that's where we met Alex. We're not big on social media ourselves, but we do have a presence there, and we kind of mix the two. So it's free, and we're using it, and that's just the way it's going to be for right now. Our podcasts are always going to be out there, and you'll always be able to hear us. We'll be here for as long as possible, and Hannah probably longer than me. She's the next generation, We're going to work on getting Hannah her advice column one way or the other, even if it is on just Facebook. We could do that. But we enjoy the fact that you are sticking with us, and we apologize for some of the audio tonight. Like I said, this is the first time we were talking to somebody from, another country, so there's always going to be a delay. So, yeah. Like I said, our equipment's not the best, not unless, we get tons of donations and we could get, top of the line stuff. But right now, we got to make do with what we got, and that's why we're getting rid of some things that are costing us money, just to kind of free us up so we could just keep doing this. Anyway, we do appreciate, again, everybody for tuning in and listening. Like I said, this was one of the rabbit holes, and there's going to be many more that we're going to go down the road. But I think our next podcast, we're going to have Elaine from
Arcane Oracle.
I know she wanted to come in. And I got somebody else lined up, too. So we're going to have some more guests coming in with some more lighthearted, subjects. But at the same time, we're going to go down some more of those rabbit holes, in the future, and maybe have somebody other that, is suffering from some things. And, just want to get the word out. Let everybody know that you have a voice. But Hannah and I, we really appreciate you listening.
Yes. And before we log off here, just as a personal favor, I just want everyone to go show Alex love, whether it be, posting a comment on his Facebook or any of his platforms. I just really feel like he needs love, and it would mean the world to me if you could just take 5 seconds out of your day to do that.
Yeah, please do. And,
because, not to cut you off, sorry. Yeah. But, when you're at your lowest, you just want that recognition and understanding and love. You want that positive single, you got this, whatever, something short, something sweet. It takes less than a minute. Just do that.
Yeah, do it for us, please, and do it for him especially. We're going to have the links in the synopsis of the podcast, his Facebook page, his music, his YouTube videos, and all that, so you can hear all of his music and just hear what he has to say. Like Hannah said, show him some love. Reach out. Like I said, I don't care if nobody went on our website, but if we are trying to push or promote somebody, give them that honor. And just say, hey, you're doing good. You don't necessarily have to believe in what he's saying, or even like his music, but just, get out there and visit his pages and show him some support, all right?
Well, with that, I hope everyone has a great night, day, morning, whatever time you're listening to this.
Yep, definitely. And we will be back soon for some more podcasts. Stick with us. This is Third Eye Meditation Podcast. We really enjoy having you listening to us, and we'll be hearing from you all soon. Take care.